Welcome, everyone, to the £160,000 Brabus S by Turbo Roadster.
Sweet mother of God, this is fast.
The secret to all this speed, of course, is the engine. What Brabus do is take the standard Mercedes V12 and then throw almost all of it away. Only the cylinder block remains, and even that is modified. Everything else is new. New and bigger. The original car has 5.5 litres. This is a 6.3, and the result of that is dramatic. 730 brake horsepower. That's more than any Bentley, it's more than any Ferrari, more than any Lamborghini even. Of course, it's not actually that difficult to screw 730 horsepower from an engine. But it is difficult to put all that power on the road. And it's nigh on impossible when the engine is churning out an almost ridiculous 1,000 torques. 1,000 torques is what you'd use for restarting a dead planet. It's so much that when they put the engine in the car, it wouldn't move at all. Traction control just sat there going, this is impossible. And when they turned the traction control off, the rear wheels spun till the tyres burst. As a result, they've now limited it to just 811 torques, which is about what you'd use to power a medium-sized aircraft carrier.
Now, at this point, you're probably expecting me to say that they've limited the top speed as well, and I'm afraid they have, to 219 miles an hour. The top speed is incredible, but the way it gets there boggles the mind. 100. 120. 140. I'm now going 180, faster than the top speed of an Apache helicopter gunship. And I'm running on a runway.
I suppose I ought to explain at this point that Mercedes limit this car to 155 miles an hour because that's the limit of what various components can take. So, if you're going to make it go 219 miles an hour, those components have to be changed. That discrete body kit, therefore, is not for show. It's there to keep me on the ground, which is handy when you're doing 320 feet a second. And what kind of underfloor engineering does the Brabus have to keep it in check at this kind of speed? Well, put simply, it's all very big. The brakes are the size of dustbin lids and have 12 pistons each. The tyres could encompass Neptune, and at speed, the whole car sits lower to the road than normal by 15 millimetres. So, has it worked?
No, not really. Even though they've reined in the torque, there's still far too much of it. Every time you go near the throttle, even in a straight line, you just get the traction control going, oh, I don't know what to do. And even if you turn the traction control off, this being a Mercedes, of course, it isn't really off. So you've got the brakes stabbing away at the back tyres, desperately trying to control the mountain of torque, just wasting their time. Honestly, you may as well blow on an oil rig fire. You have to develop a new technique, which is blast down the straight, hard on the brakes. Ooh, I think I've just made a crease in the runway. And then go very slowly, ease the power in, still the traction control squirming away, and then, oh, no, that was too much. It's very hard work, this.
And worse, after a worryingly short amount of time, the brakes were completely shot. Still, at least this meant I could pull over and stop the madness. In terms of handling, then, this car is a nightmare. It just cannot cope with the volcano under the bonnet. Here, then, is 2 and a bit tons of proof that absolute power really does corrupt. Absolutely.
So it's rubbish?
Well, we're going to find out now by putting it on our track, and that, of course, means handing it over to our tame racing driver. Some say that if you lick his chest, it tastes exactly the same as Piccalilli. And that at this week's Brit Awards, he was arrested for goosing Russell Brand. All we know is he's called the Stig. Away he goes, tyres struggling to contain all the torques. Here he is piling into the first corner already. A mighty struggle between power, traction control and the Stig. Look at that! Unbelievable driving.
Each could hear the other's heart beating, as if they shared just one between them.
Stig's talking book collection getting another airing there as he barrels through Chicago. Not looking all that fast, got to say. Look at a lunatic of a car, this thing. Through Hammerhead. Look at it, you can actually see it wobbling around as the computers... Look at it, struggling to try and keep it on the straight and narrow, nearly hitting the tyres there.
I love him, she shouted to the elements. I love him.
Through the follow-through, he can really wind it up here, make up some lost time. But he's got to have lifted. Even the Stig's not that stupid. No, it just doesn't look that fast. You just can't get the power on when you want to in it. Second to last corner, just holding it on the track through Gambon, barely contained explosion and across the line. Well, yeah, you're applauding, but... Ready? An entirely predictable 126.2.